okay, well, what's her birthday? I'm like, my daughter's having an allergic reaction. I need to get her seen right now.
What's the most trivial thing you did a first date and you're like, next? The thing about Santa Claus, there's this jolly old man who's breaking into your house to give you gifts.
No, you give him permission.
Welcome to the Christmas episode
of Blind Love. Oh my gosh. So I was thinking about how last Christmas we didn't even know if Galileo was going to be a boy or a girl. Like, you had your fatherly intuition that she was a girl the whole time, yes, but we had not had it confirmed. And I'll also never forget the look on your face when we popped 3 blue balloons and you were like you were upset.
I was very confident it was going to be a girl.
I think you would have had gender disappointment. Have you heard of the gender disappointment?
No, I wouldn't have. I'd have been happy, boy or girl.
You don't think you would have had gender disappointment?
I don't think so.
Like the gender letdown. That's like something that's like goes on, like I see on TikToks and stuff. People being like more open and accepting of people having gender disappointment when they've had like 5 girls in a row and they're having their 6th kid and they're hoping it's a boy, or they have 4 boys and they have their 5th kid and they're hoping it's a girl and it's another boy or another girl. And like people I think are being a little bit more accepting about gender disappointment. And it's just interesting. I feel like you would have. I saw the gender disappointment on your face when you popped that 3rd blue balloon.
Okay, so when I popped the balloon, I was just surprised because I really thought that it was going to be a girl.
I hate to call you out, my love, but I know your surprised face. And it was not surprised. It was disappointed.
I don't know.
It's okay. Maybe you weren't even aware that you were having that emotion.
I don't think I was disappointed. And I was very happy it was a girl. But I think I would have been happy if it was a boy too.
Think. He said think.
I would be very happy if we had a son.
Yeah, honestly, either or for me, it would have been great. But you really wanted a girl.
I think you really want a boy.
I do want a boy for the next time. I do.
And
it's okay if it's not though. Girls are amazing.
I would be very happy with a boy. But if we have another girl,
you just want to be a girl
I'll also
dad.
be very happy. Yeah.
Aww.
It is a huge blessing to have a daughter.
And it's a huge blessing to have a son.
Yeah.
It's a huge blessing to have a healthy baby, honestly, no matter what gender they are.
Yeah.
And that's really like what we wanted most.
Yeah.
She's an angelic, healthy, beautiful baby. She's so gorgeous. She's so happy. I have literally been obsessed watching her look at the Christmas tree.
Okay. Taking her down here and sitting her by the Christmas tree and letting her just appreciate this thing that she's never seen before. Mm-hmm. And then she gets to look at the fireplace. Mm-hmm. I turn off all the lights and we just sit down here together.
So cozy. Christmas was always such a special time for me growing up. And it's one of the things I looked forward to most about having a kid is getting to teach them my holiday traditions. And it's so cool to watch her experience it. And we took her to Enchant Christmas, it has in a couple different various cities besides Seattle, but they turned the whole entire baseball stadium into a light maze. I went with my family the day after Thanksgiving, and it was so cool. She was exhausted. Like, I'm not even sure if she remembers any of it.
One of the things that I've really wanted us to do is to try to get her out of the house a lot more. And that's been really hard for us.
Yeah, it's been hard on so many levels. I think, number one, because we don't show her face on social media right now. And that creates a lot of barriers for me in regards to the anxiety that comes up. And it's like we're always on guard and we're not able to like actually enjoy being out in public. And just general anxiety. And she nurses and it's not really easy for me to nurse in public.
Yeah.
It's just not because I'm like ashamed of it or anything, but just because physiologically, I'm bigger, busted. It's not an easy task for me. I don't just like have to hold her in this arm. Like I have to it's a whole thing. And she also gets distracted so easily. And I'm sure many people have seen. I've accidentally flashed them. I'm sure a lot of other moms can relate. And oh, well, right, my baby has to eat. But that's another part of it too. Is like I need a pillow a lot of the times for support. And so if we can time it right, it's where we can be out, you know. But a lot of times I have to go back to the car to breastfeed her. I also I think I'm kind of a homebody, you know. Like I like my home. I like to try to keep Galileo on a schedule. But yeah, I was trying to be spontaneous. And because you had brought up that you didn't really, you'd think we were kind of like getting out enough. And I was like, okay, yeah, like I can like challenge myself to like take her out more. I want her to like experience the world. I don't want like my anxieties to hold her back, even though there's just a lot of different challenges around that. So I scheduled for us to go to a brunch, her first brunch.
And it was delicious.
Mm-hmm. What did you have? You had something really, you had that boar. The boar Benedict. That was so good with the habanero. Hollandaise. Was it the habanero hollandaise?
Yeah. But then what happened after we finished our meal is we saw a rash breaking out on Leo's neck.
Mm-hmm. She didn't really eat much.
And it was pretty bad. Like it was hives around her neck. My intuition, I knew like this is an allergic reaction. We don't know what it was.
We left like in a mad rush. We're like throwing the card at the person and everyone's rushing. And like, I know. I'm like surprised we even brought everything.
This is the first time that we had taken her out, just the two of us, for like anything really like that.
We're at a restaurant?
Yeah.
She'd gone to a restaurant once before in LA.
Yeah. With family though. Mm-hmm. This was like the first time that we had gone out on our own. Mm-hmm. And it resulted in us with a 4-hour hospital trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I like walked up to the person that we were checking and I was like, my daughter's having an allergic reaction. They're like, okay, well, what's her birthday? I'm like, my daughter's having an allergic reaction. I need to get her seen right now. This isn't like sit here and ask me questions. And they're like, well, ma'am, we need to. And I'm like, okay, what are your questions? What are they? Her birthday. This is her birthday. That's her name. Get me in now. She's a baby. I was kind of firm. And they did get us in right away. Yeah. Yeah. You don't like, oh, someone's having an allergy. Well, what's their birthday? It's like you can get the birthday after.
Right. But it was good. She was happy the whole time.
I know. She didn't really seem too much bothered. I wonder if it was probably a little itchy, but it didn't seem painful.
Yeah. And it was localized, right? Like
just to her neck, yeah. And they gave us some Zyrtec and it cleared up. And you were reading that sometimes when there's excessive amounts of drool, it can cause hives.
How did that affect you going into Thanksgiving?
Honestly,
because we had a big Thanksgiving meal, and there was a lot of family there.
Yeah,
and
I don't think it impacted me at all. To be completely honest,
you weren't worried about it happening again.
I think I'm always a little bit freaked out when she's eating. I'm always like staring at her, like trying to make sure she's not choking. And no, but for Thanksgiving dinner, I wasn't worried. I don't think I was any more worried or any less worried or any more worried than I normally am. She also didn't like eat the full Thanksgiving dinner. She just had some mashed potatoes and then I brought her some food that I had made, some baby food. So she had like sweet potatoes and carrots and mashed potatoes, and she didn't eat a bunch of the Thanksgiving dinner. I wasn't exposed to a bunch of different foods in that capacity. Were you worried about it?
I think that we haven't really figured out what's causing her allergic reactions.
And it doesn't happen consistently to things. Like she's had avocado since that one time and she's fine. Like I gave her some yesterday and the day before and she is fine.
The trip, the brunch, I'll call it the brunch. The brunch was just bad timing, I guess. I don't know. Because we're so cautious about everything with her. Mm-hmm. And I think going to that stadium was a big deal, though.
To the lights, to see the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
So, like,
there was so much going on, so many people.
Yeah, it was a lot. And she was so tired, so I don't even know if she fully took it and what was going on.
She was.
But she was like, the lights. Enamored. And I was like, yay. Like, just looking at her, look at the lights is just the best thing.
She loves lights.
Okay, but I have a question for you, actually. And we debated about this a little bit, but I think I finally got you on board. Decorating the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
like for Christmas. Like I am a person that's like, extend the holiday cheer as long as you can. And it's so weird to me that you even care about these types of things, like care about this. Cause I feel like you're so like, whatever, you don't care about decor. That's just not, you're not the like, you know what I mean? But I just like, as a kid, it only lasting 1 month. And then like the next day, my mom actually would usually get us a gift the day after to help extend it. Cause it's kind of depressing the day after Christmas. It's like all this build up, all your family, and then it's like nothing. It's depressing.
Yeah.
That's why actually I would also travel. I used to do like a big tropical trip in January or February. But anyway, are you not on board with me? Are we in disagreement here?
I am on board with me because I kind of like Halloween.
Yeah.
I like the Halloween
I love
spooky
Halloween,
decorations.
for sure.
So I feel like I like to give it just a little bit of time before we're straight to Christmas.
Oh, heck no. The thing is Thanksgiving is wonderful and great. And like, I love Thanksgiving, but it can be during the Christmas time.
Maybe
like, there can be a tree
second
up.
week. Let's give it the second week in November. That seems like a pretty good one.
I don't know.
I think that's pretty good.
We'll see. I don't know why do you care? You're so like uncaring about decorations. I feel like you would I was so shocked that you had an opinion.
I love that you are into like decorating our house and for the holidays. I feel like it gives a sense of time. It delineates the moments. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate that about you. I love it. I like making our house look festive.
I mean, with a real tree.
Beautiful giant tree. This is the perfect Christmas tree.
I know,
really.
you picked it out this year. I was like, I'm going to let Zach's inner child go wild and pick out the tree. And he'd be like, no, what about this one? I was like, okay, well, what do you think? I want to know what you think. And I'm like, okay, then this one. You're like, no, not that one. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. You pick it out this year. I'll pick out next year's. I do love a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Like, I really do love a Charlie Brown
I am not a
tree.
Charlie Brown
But
Christmas tree fan.
I also love these ones. So this year we're doing very traditional Christmas. We're doing red and green wrapping. We're doing a simple red and green tree. We're keeping it really classic Christmas for Galileo's first Christmas, which is what I wanted.
Look at this wrapping.
Don't do that one.
Look at this wrapping.
This was an awkward thing to wrap.
I cannot wait for your mother to see the gift that we got her.
I know. It's gonna be exciting.
Yes. Can we talk? We can't talk about it though.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, she's gonna love it, I hope.
I know it's gonna be. So we'll see. We have not confirmed this if we're gonna do this or not. Okay.
Uh-oh.
But we've had discussions about this rare type of coffee bean that it is consumed by. I can't remember the species of cat. But there's like it's
not like a house cat. It's like some sort of.
It's a wild cat. It's a wild cat. Okay. And the cats consume the coffee beans. You've heard of this before, right?
Not until you told me the other day.
So they consume and digest the coffee beans whole. And then they poop them out. And these are like the most expensive coffee beans in the world, apparently. They're very pricey, but your mother loves coffee.
She does love coffee.
And I thought that'd be a pretty cool gift. I mean, it's kind of gross eating coffee beans.
You know, my mom is such a germaphobe.
That I didn't think she would be down.
But she was like, if it's the best in the world. But it's highly sanitized, right?
I mean, I have to assume we can wash them when we get them. But that would be pretty cool, right? Like, I thought that'd be a cool Christmas gift. You know, worst case scenario, we could
try it with her.
We could just feed some coffee beans to Blythe.
Oh no, that'd be horrifying. You're like digging in it. You're like digging in her litter box. I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, I'm collecting the coffee beans. It's like, oh God, no.
Dude, I'll try it once. I'm not even a real coffee guy. You know, I like my teas.
I know, it's so funny. In the pods, I was like, before I left for the pods, I was telling my family, like, you know, I'm not going to marry someone who like doesn't like coffee or something. And like, I was obviously kidding, but my mom was like, wait, does he like coffee? And I was like, no. And she was like, you can't marry him. And I was like, Mom, I'm kidding. Like it was just a joke, but I made an exception. because I love coffee. And
You made a lot of
now
exceptions.
It's just like more
Like,
yeah, what
allergic to your animals.
Ugh, you were the worst. I must have really loved you. I think God was looking out for us. The universe was looking out for us for that one. Because if you had discussed that you
didn't like coffee, like it would have been over in the pods.
No, we're allergic to my animals.
Next.
We're allergic to Asher and Blythe earlier on. I probably would have been like.
Isn't it funny though, like the trivial things at the early stages?
That's not trivial.
No, I'm saying I don't think that's trivial.
Oh, the coffee thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the trivial things.
I still wouldn't have cut you out if you didn't like coffee.
But what's the most trivial thing that you ended, like you did a first date and you're like, next, that you can think of? I'll think about it too.
Okay.
When I was younger, I didn't drink. I wasn't really into partying.
Mm-hmm. Like in college.
Yeah, like I wouldn't socialize.
You would go to parties, you just wouldn't drink and engage in salacious behavior.
So I know that would kind of be like an early turn off for sure.
I did party in college.
Yeah.
Not like crazy amounts, but I would.
But I don't know if that's...
See, that's another reason why a 19-year-old Bliss and Zach would not have...
I was in a fraternity. You would have, like, you kidding me? You would have probably showed up at the fraternity party.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have liked me because I would have drank.
Right.
I probably would have had like one or two.
You'd have been exactly the type of girl that I would have been talking to at the party. Yeah.
Even though I drank?
You're sitting there like, how much did you drink?
I mean, more than I can drink now, which is not much.
Okay. That's not the most trivial though I can think of.
See, like my thought goes to something that's like, I don't think it's trivial, but like that's the most trivial thing I can think of.
What?
He lived with his parents.
Oh.
Or he had a roommate.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Okay. There was someone actually. I took off the list in the pods because he had a roommate.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why do you have a roommate? Like, you're a little too old to have a roommate. Like, if you're coming to get married, why do you have a roommate? It just was weird. Obviously, like, some people can't afford to live by themselves. And I totally honor that. But this person could afford to live by themselves. And they were choosing to have a roommate.
Some people are just social.
I totally get it. But if you're looking to get married, like, it's to me, and sometimes there's situations where people get married and they have roommates, and that's okay. It was that's why I'm saying it's trivial.
Mm-hmm.
It's trivial. And it probably wasn't it was not the right thing for me to do, was to cut this person off my list because he had a roommate.
Oh, what about chomping? Would you have ended it? Would you go on that second date if someone was chomping on the date?
If it was really gross, no. But I don't think that's trivial. I think manners are really important. What's your trivial?
I don't know.
You have to, Zach, you have one. I know you do.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Mr. Picky.
I know I do.
Mr.
I know.
Picky. Your friends are always like, was he so picky?
I really think the thing that I was very judgmental about was, for me, there's like these attributes that were really important. And having someone who was intelligent and driven and compassionate, those are the things that I was looking for. Mm-hmm. And I felt like the party scene, that those types of people were not going to be there, but that wasn't true. So I feel like if I had an inkling that someone was like to go out to clubs or like to party, for me, I would make assumptions pretty quickly. But I think as I got older, like I came to realize that those assumptions were not true.
So your answer is you would end things if you suspected that they might enjoy going to clubs. Going to clubs like a lot. Like that was like their core enjoyment. Yeah. We all have ended things in a trivial way.
Let's get into it.
You were very sweet to like try to not hurt anyone's feelings, and I appreciate that. And I hope I didn't hurt the guy's feelings I'm talking about. He probably knows who he is. And I really love that guy. It's all good.
Okay, so let's get back onto the Christmas topics.
Christmas.
Santa's real.
Santa's real. Why? Of course Santa's real. But there is debate about if the Grinch is real or not.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, you definitely shouldn't invite him into your home.
No. But do you think it's funny if parents are like, okay, Santa and the Grinch could come?
Well, the Grinch is a lot better than Krampus.
Yeah. Oh, God.
You know, but I would say
Grinch is like the American version of Krampus.
I feel like
But Grinch ends up being nice at the
the
end.
thing about Santa Claus, right, is it's the idea that there's this jolly old man who's breaking into your house to give you gifts.
No, you give him permission.
Okay, with the cookies and the milk?
Yes,
okay.
That's the invitation into the home.
I think, educating children about the Grinch possibly teaches some good things to be aware of, like don't trust green men who are trying to break into your home.
What if it's an alien?
Probably not. I would probably...
Anyone breaking into the home is not to be trusted.
Strangers in the house are not there to give you gifts.
But like, what if they took it to another level? Instead of being on the naughty or nice list, like you get coal, you get a visit from the Grinch. Like the presents your parents get you and your family, he comes and takes those. Like, so not only does Santa give you coal, but you also get, all of your presents taken away by the Grinch.
Well, how would you avoid your gifts being taken from the Grinch?
You can't. He knows where they are. Just like how Santa knows where you are and where to give you gifts, the Grinch knows. Yeah.
What moral lesson would you be teaching a child with the Grinch?
Well, you better watch out. You better not cry.
The Grinch is coming. I'll tell you why. He doesn't care if you've been naughty or nice.
No, the Grinch, though, that would be the whole thing. Like Santa is if you make good choices and the Grinch is if you make poor choices. I don't necessarily believe in like children being naughty or nice. I definitely don't want to teach Galileo that if she makes one bad decision or makes a mistake because she's a human, that she's going to have the Grinch come. I just think it's a funny concept and I think it's an interesting concept. And I think the whole idea, I know that there's hundreds of thousands, probably millions of parents that use the whole thing of Santa is watching.
So my niece.
And Santa will be coming.
My niece really loves
let me finish
the
this
Grinch.
thought. And Santa will be coming. And like, that was used on me as a kid. Like, Santa's coming. Do you really want to be making these decisions right now? Like, I remember above my stocking one year, there were 3 coal fingerprints. There were, one for each of me and my siblings. And it was a warning. My mom told us that Santa had some coal in his hands and he went, doop. So next year, you better shape up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's a tool that a lot of parents use to help, keep their kids on good behavior.
One tradition we have talked about
has
been doing a random Christmas.
Yes.
Like Christmas in June.
Like one day, the Galileo wakes up.
And the whole house is decorated.
It's Christmas.
And there's presents.
Yeah.
And Santa just got bored.
Santa got bored and sometimes randomly surprises kids that have really good hearts. It's all about the manipulation in a good way. Anyway, it's just a way too of like, they don't know when it's going to come. Like she doesn't know if it's going to come in June. It could come in August. It could come in November. It could come in February. It could come any time of year.
How's Santa going to get through that chimney?
Haven't you seen the Santa Claus?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What if Santa has clones?
Do you think that's how Santa gets to all the houses?
Yeah.
That like he can like split himself on Christmas Eve into millions of different Santas.
Does Santa know which is the real Santa?
So my argument would be that Santa is one person, but
he freezes time.
No, maybe that's a good solid argument. I think that he could clone himself just on Christmas Eve.
Only? Why?
Because he doesn't need to clone himself the other days.
Did you know Santa Claus is a recognized character in the X-Men comics?
No.
Yeah, apparently he is an Omega level mutant.
Wow.
One of the most powerful mutants in
Cool.
the X-Men comics.
Wow, I did not know.
Yeah.
Why has he never been included in any of the movies?
That's a good question. I think
he'd be a hit.
I think he may have been actually in like a Christmas special.
Really?
Yeah, maybe not any like the Sony ones, but
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Also in the Power Rangers. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really cool. Was it you that I watched that movie Silent Night with?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was
a Christmas movie.
That was like crazy. It was good. but it was so violent. Or was it called Violent Night?
I think it was called Violent
Yeah,
Night, yeah.
it was a good movie, but it was intense. Santa was this Nordic man that turned into Santa.
He was a Viking.
And he was a Viking, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a good movie. Violent Night. If you're feeling like a
was kind of
Christmas movie,
brutal,
it was
actually.
brutal. If you're feeling like a Christmas movie,
Not for the kids.
It's not for kids. That's like a very adult Christmas movie. You can watch that one. It is actually very disturbing in ways. It's Violent Night for sure. But I think that it could be a cool duality. Christmas, Santa. What was that look?
Oh, just some lights flash out there.
The thing about Zach is he's always ready to break into jujitsu moves. Like he can just be like hugging me and then drop of a hat, like take someone down and wrestle him into, isolate a limb. He's being all like, that's not me, but like it actually is. He's never looking for a fight, but he could take someone down. Why are you doing that face? It's true. It's true. And that's the beauty of like martial arts is like it's not about like fighting,
I think personally, martial arts are not really a effective method of self-defense. So
let's talk about it later then if it's when we talk about it after the podcast.
I think
we're not going to include it.
Yeah, well,
Zach.
I mean, you took us here, right?
I know, but I changed my mind.
Okay.
What is the biggest thing you're looking forward to on Christmas Day with Galley Girl?
Ooh. Honestly, I think just sitting with our whole family. Like last year's Christmas was pretty amazing. Watching Finn and Addie.
I know, we woke up at the crack of dawn.
And Addie loved the tea set.
Yeah. And
so
Finn,
much.
we definitely like won Auntie and Uncle of the Year.
Yeah. Finn really, really enjoyed. I don't think he uses it much though. The Oculus, which is good.
Yeah, we don't want him to use it.
It wasn't
too much.
meant to be something that he was using all the time.
No, I mean, I'd be worried if he was using it all the time. We are hosting Christmas at our house. This is our first year hosting Christmas. Mm-hmm. I'm actually grateful to not have to travel for once. And I was like, Galileo's first Christmas, everyone has to come here because it's time for everyone to come here. And it's just fun to host, And like everyone has their stockings with their name on it, embroidered on it. And we're going to do some really special things for Christmas dinner. And yeah, I'm just excited to like have all the family here with her and her to just enjoy that special time. So I think the last time a lot of my family was here, well, we were at Thanksgiving, but at our house, I was like freshly postpartum, like 4 weeks, and it was a lot. I don't think I was able to enjoy the family visit. I barely even remember my brother being here.
Well, because we did the gender reveal during that time too.
Last year.
Yeah, wow. It'll be a year since we found out I had a baby girl.
And now she's here with us.
We
We waited a while. I think I was 5 months pregnant when we found out.
So she's not going to we're going to let her open up the gifts.
She'll be able to rip things.
Yeah. What are you most excited about?
I'm just really excited for my family to be here and to host Christmas, Like there's just something special about like waking up on Christmas morning and I get to wake up on Christmas morning with my baby. And it's just so fun. It's just like a very magical time of year. Like I really feel the presence of just the best feelings, And I know that that's not for everyone. And the holidays can be like a very lonely, isolating time. And I just want to like acknowledge that sometimes it's not the most magical time of the year for people, especially if they've recently lost someone or, don't have a family to spend it with. And I just want to send positive, good vibes towards those people and thinking of you and sending all of those good energy to you. And I hope that you're able to do something special, just even if it's you, like making yourself your favorite dinner or watching your favorite movie. Yeah. But for me, I feel so grateful that it's a good time of year for me. And I'm just excited to share that with my daughter. Like there's movies that I watch. Like I watch Love Actually with my mom every year during Christmas. And I love watching The Holiday. And yeah.
It was kind of a good rom-com. It's like a
Christmas cookies? Sorry, you can't forget the Christmas cookies. What's your favorite Christmas cookie?
I really like a white chocolate macadamia nut.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You ate all of the white chocolate
and caramel
butterscotch
mixed it.
cheese.
Oh my God.
Last Christmas. Those are my favorite.
Okay,
those are my favorite. But you literally ate like all of them.
Those and your sister's cinnamon rolls. I was basically in a diabetic coma the entire holiday season.
Yeah, you were.
It was just too much.
It
But
was
they were
too
so
much.
good.
I think that's when I was like, babe, I'm a little worried about your dessert consumption. You ate like 6 cinnamon rolls. Remember, my sister had saved some for my brother, and you ate them.
What? It was the Grinch. The Grinch. She didn't put up a Grinch card.
Grinch comes in handy. Oh, so the Grinch, does the Grinch live in people? Like the Grinch comes and takes over certain different people? Is that what it is?
No.
He overtook you?
No.
No. I thought I saw a flash of green last year. I'll have to ask Finn, my nephew.
He's sneaky, the Grinch. You know, you got to keep a guard out. You got to be watching.
We're going to go take her to see Santa and do Santa pictures.
It's going to be fun. Do you think she's going to cry?
I do. I think she's going to cry. Unless the Santa has the purest of happiest, wonderfulest energy. She'll probably pull on the beard and pull it down.
So Galileo loves people.
Yeah.
He loves people. But recently, she's started to become...
She's like being held by other people she doesn't know, which I totally understand.
Me too. I get it. A strange person started holding me. I'd be like, what's going on?
Yeah, if all of a sudden someone just came up and picked you up and you're like, what the frick?
She recently has been a little bit more wanting to be with mom and dad.
Yeah. I kind of am happy about that. I don't want her to like... I don't know. It's good I want her to be comfortable, and you're not supposed to say stranger danger. You're supposed to say don't knows. So but I don't really want her to be like crazy comfortable with don't knows, people that she doesn't know. So what do you think? She's going to cry or not?
We might cry.
Yeah. Happy cries. Again, so many happy tears. We might happy cry.
Yeah.
It'll be cute. I'm excited to take her. And I think like every kid has to have a crying Santa picture. Your grandma is saying that your mom would always take you to see Santa and that she's going to send some of those pictures to me.
Oh, those would be cool to see.
I wonder if you have a crying one. I bet you do.
Probably.
We really want to teach Galileo. We've talked about this, like how we want her it to be about a season of giving.
Yeah.
And so we're going to start this not now when she's old enough she has to pick one of her gifts to give away to someone less fortunate than her.
Yeah. You know, even the concept of saying less fortunate, I don't know if I like that term.
Why not?
Well, because it makes assumptions that based on socioeconomic status equates to fortune.
Well, you can be rich in so many different ways, not only financially, but like in love,
right? But
family.
in the context of the conversation we're having, I mean, it's equating socioeconomic status with fortune
unintentionally. What word would you use?
I don't think you need to distingush whether this is
just to give one of her Christmas gifts away.
This is something that I think there's a lot of good natured in giving, but sometimes it's about status, and there's something that's kind of grossly tied into that. Where I've seen, I spent some time working with like the Portland Rescue Mission, and I remember having conversations with some of the men and women that were just out on the streets of Portland. And there would be people who would come and like give out food. But the way it was done was kind of dehumanizing in a way that was treating it like feeding the ducks. It was kind of the best way I could describe the way, like it was a gift, but it was really like you would be better not giving a gift the way it was given.
Like you think they more did it for their own ego to be able to say like, oh, I
and did. I think sometimes that's where, I saw this, there's like this interesting viral video where this guy would dress up like he was homeless and he would give money out to strangers, and the strangers would get upset at him because it was an insult to them. Because it was saying something about their status. I think there's something to be said about that, just because you can be very fortunate and not have a lot of money.
Oh,
and
I completely agree.
Right.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I want to make that very clear. So it kind of feels like you're implying that I'm
No, just the context of it, and maybe that's my own.
I think that's your own personal journey and filter projection on it, but I do think it's important to teach Galileo to genuinely give. Not to give because it's going to make her feel better or she's better than other people and she's going to have an ego about it. Like, that's not the goal.
You don't have to give to people who, quote unquote, are less fortunate, right? You can just give, right? You can
Absolutely.
give. You can give to your family. You can give to friends. You can.
But I want her to give to. I want whatever she gives to not only be on Christmas, of course, but I do think that I want to make a special effort because we are so lucky in so many ways that I want her to not take that for granted. And I want her to also realize that not everyone is raised the same way she is. Not everyone has the privilege that she does.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's something to be said about that.
I also want her to learn, like, if you're in a place to give, then giving is something that you should want to do.
Yeah. And I think, like, when we look at, like, giving and the heart behind it, it's about a way of showing love. And sometimes it's not a gift that people need. It's a relationship.
It's a relationship. It's a conversation. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, like
how we talked about the loneliness that some people experience during the holidays.
Sometimes,
having somewhere to go.
Sometimes gifts can be easy answers to hard problems that don't really solve the underlying issue.
And I don't think it does solve the larger problem, but I do think that there is a lot of joy that a simple gift, in whatever capacity that is, physical or otherwise, can give someone. And while one effort may not necessarily fix the problem, it can inspire hope and give a little bit of hope and shed a little bit of light.
So that leads me into an interesting question. Why are you wearing a dress today?
Oh, well, I've been wearing a dress every single day this month, as you know, for Dresscember, which is a campaign focused on bringing awareness to human trafficking by wearing a dress. And any day, no matter what you're doing, whether you're working out, whatever your thing is, I've been doing, you wear a dress. And I'm working with IJM to raise money for this campaign to identify and hopefully rescue a child trapped in exploitation and slavery. So I am trying to do my part and use this platform that I was gifted to bring awareness to this really important issue.
Yeah. I'm really proud of you, baby.
Thanks. You're the one who introduced me to this organization because you were doing a lot of work with them when you were in college. Yeah. So thank you for introducing this to me. It's something that I've become increasingly passionate about, not especially as a mother.
I know it's been really hard this month to find, like, the time to get dressed up and then put a dress on. You know, we were both sick yesterday, and we still got that picture of your, like, leg in the bed.
Oh my God, I know. I was like, I have to wear a dress. I'm sick. But that's, I think, the whole point is that it is something that's still achievable, right? Like, even though it's not easy to wear a dress every day, it's something that's achievable and easy to do and easy to bring awareness to this issue. And it's something that makes you think when you're getting dressed every day. Like, you're like, okay, I'm going to pick out a dress. And it's like, why am I doing this? You know, it really brings this issue to the top of your mind and makes you think about all of the millions of people that are impacted by this. You know, it's a way to keep the conversation relevant in your own mind.
Yeah. And I think human trafficking and slavery is one of the worst crimes that can exist on the planet, right?
Yeah.
To strip someone of all of their freedoms and rights.
Literally having no autonomy.
And for your own financial exploitation.
And often it's not even that you don't have autonomy. It's a violent, dangerous situation that they're in.
And it is one of the greatest evils that exists on this planet. And like the way that human trafficking survivors are exploited, I think it can be kind of overwhelming when you understand how large of an issue this is. Right.
And how, like, even just buying a simple product can actually be supporting these trades that you don't even understand are going on.
I think one of the ones, because it's a huge issue And we got to have an amazing conversation with the CEO of IJM Canada, where she talked to us in depth about what she does to help fight against human trafficking.
Yeah, I learned so much.
And we're going to have her episode up very soon.
Yeah.
But one of the things that it's like a big misconception that I think a lot of people don't realize is victims of human trafficking, they're not in chains, right?
Necessarily.
Most of them, you know, the vast majority of people are controlled through fear, and it's threats of violence. And so one area where that is very prevalent is in prostitution. The vast majority of prostitutes globally and in the United States are victims of sex trafficking. I believe the statistic is in the US, the average entry into prostitution in the United States is at the age of 13 years old.
Wild.
And so no girl is consenting into that, right? That is, there is a pimp that is trafficking them. And I think that there's just a lot of people don't understand that. They don't see it that way, because I think that the problem, you know, it's a crime that some people in our worlds perceive as a victimless crime, right? They think of it as a consenting contract between two parties, and they don't see or know about the pimps that might be involved, and how this person might not actually be there consenting, but is in fact there. And there's so much shame towards prostitutes. And because of that, it's so hard for them to even come out and discuss what's happening. And it's so difficult for them to get help. And like our criminal codes have not really caught up in understanding, right? Because like if they come forward to the police,
They get arrested.
they've just confessed to a crime that they committed under duress. And I think I do think police academies have started to get more educated around this issue. And there's a lot of work that's been happening, but there's a lot more that still needs to happen. And when we look at this issue of not just sex trafficking, but human trafficking, it can feel like there's nothing we can do. Like there's just so many people and we're just one person. But there is more good in this world than there is evil. And if each person just tries to help one person, if we each just try to put the little that we can do collectively together, we can move mountains.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Hopefully.
And one of the good things that IJM does is they break down like where this all is going. You know, if you do choose to donate, like, you know where this is going. And $2,100 is what I'm like raising. And that's actually not a lot when you think about how much that can do. Locate a child.
Right.
They go undercover. Like, this is intense work that they're doing. And Anya, the person that we're speaking with, that we did a podcast with that we'll be releasing recently, she actually helped lead some of these missions. And it's just so brave and so beautiful. And this cause is so incredibly important. And it impacts, you don't think, oh, like it does, no, it does impact you. It impacts every single person on this planet. Because that is that's how vast this issue actually is. And they use a term like it's a borderless crime. Like, it's not like it doesn't happen here. It happens. The US is a big, big employer of human trafficking. But it just makes me think about how the privilege that we have to enjoy Christmas this year, the privilege that we have to spend it with our families, the privilege of us being free and being safe and knowing that our daughter is safe. That is such a privilege. And in the spirit of Christmas and the spirit of love and giving and all of those good things, like, I want us to, acknowledge that there are people that are not in those situations that we are. And it's important to try to fight for that And Christmas isn't only about the gifts. We're going to teach our baby daughter that. So that's really why I want her to pick a gift to give away. I want her to be thinking about how fortunate she is.
Yeah.
And how truly there just are not people as fortunate as her, even in the sense of just being safe every day. So that's really what Christmas means to me, beyond just kind of the traditional things that you think about when you think about Christmas. I hope that everyone has a happy holiday season, whether you celebrate Christmas or nothing or everything. Have a happy holiday season.
We should probably try to end on a slightly lighter note.
I know I tried to bring it back to a lighter note about Galileo.
Galileo.
I'm excited to teach Galileo all of those things about giving and Christmas and the spirit of Christmas. And I'm excited to spend Christmas Eve with her and make cookies. And it's going to be so fun.
Longer, guys.
Love you.
I love you too.
Happy holidays, everyone.